TD5 brings you the king of the ring and all the sports action you're looking for on the Jerry Lawler Show. Sunday mornings at 11, Jerry hosts the only television sports magazine in the Mid-South. And it's more than just scores and statistics. He'll have the highlights from recent games, the hottest matchups in pro wrestling, and interviews with your favorite sports personalities. If it's happening in the world of sports, you can catch it on the Jerry Lawler Show. WMC is Sunday mornings at 11 right here on TD5.
Everybody, and welcome to the Jerry Lawler Show. And we've got a good one for you today. I guarantee you're going to like this. We got a couple of young men in our one-on-one segment. Well, today, of course, it's going to be a one-on-two segment. But we got a couple of young men that made their debut yesterday on the wrestling program and caused a lot of excitement. And I think we're going to be seeing excitement for them for quite a while to come. I'm talking about Tim Ashley and Steve Constance, and we're going to be talking with them in just a few minutes. In our bad guy interview today, we're going to be talking to three guys that are absolutely the baddest of the bad. And that's Paul Ellering and the Road Warriors. We're going to be hearing from them today. Also, we're going to listen or see and hear a story about a dolphin that's picking the outcome of NFL football games. We had a few months ago an ape that was being real successful. Now they've got a dolphin that's doing it, and it's just amazing. And speaking of NFL, we've got the return of the NFL football follies today. All of that, plus we've got Jim Barham, who is the author of a brand new book about yours truly. So we'll be talking with him a little bit, too. All of that today, so we'll be right back with it after these words. A good friend, Danny Dunn, has done it again. There are now 7 Dunn's locations. Danny Dunn's newest service center is at Ketchum and Airway. Now, you can celebrate the event and enjoy a king-size savings on a transmission tune-up for only $14.95. So if it's just for an adjustment or for a full exchange, remember what Danny Dunn says.
I'll fix your transmission right and at a reasonable price.
So then wouldn't you really rather have a Dunn transmission?
Shop Central Hardware, your new ideas store, with over 40,000 items at unbeatable prices. This week, Intertherm hot water baseboard heaters on sale. Gives you soft heat without plumbing. Clean, economical, and completely safe. This 750-watt unit fully heats a 10 by 14 room. Now just $69. Powerful 1,000-watt model, only $99. See what else is new and save, too, at Central.
We got it all for $2 Central Hardware.
There are trucks you'd love to own and trucks you can afford. But when you're talking Chevy, they're one and the same. Starting at $72.95, Chevy C10, the best-selling full-size pickup in Memphis. And starting at $59.90, the Chevy S10, with more horsepower than Nissan, with the V6, twice the pulling power of the import, and 1,000 pounds more than Ford Ranger. C10 and S10 at your Memphis area Chevy dealers. Isn't it great to love a truck you can afford?
On the go with wash and go hair. Let's let it show with wash and go hair. Everywhere that you go, you wash and go hair, let them know.
First, that's what you want for hair on the go. Bert adds a drop of instant action conditioning, so all you do is wash and go.
Wash and go hair, on you. With style and feel. Wash and go with Bert. Wash and go.
Welcome back to the show, and as I said earlier, our guests today are a couple of young men who made their debut yesterday on the wrestling program. Caused a lot of excitement, as I said, Steve Constance and Tim Ashley, right? Fellas, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Nice to be here. Okay, as I said, the fans in the studio yesterday just seemed to really react or take to you guys right off the bat. I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that you're both good looking as heck. I hate guys like you know, kind of thing. I'll be honest with you, first of all, and of course with the fans out there. I don't know a whole lot about your guys' background, so this interview is going to be kind of a get acquainted process for me as well as for the fans out there. And of course, that's what this thing is all about. We want to let the people get to know you guys a little better. So if you would, we'll start with you, Steve. Just give me the kind of basic background information, you know, where you're from, hometown, how long you've been wrestling, that kind of thing.
I'm 28 years old, from Louisville, Kentucky, and I've been wrestling close to a year now. And we started out in this area, and then we went to Florida for a few weeks, and now we're back here and really excited about maybe doing something in this area.
Sure. Okay, Tim?
Like you said, we've been wrestling together about a year now.
Are you also from Louisville?
Yes.
And how old?
27.
27.
Steve and I met in the gym about 7 years ago, and we've been friends for 7 years, and we got into business together. And like you said, we've been in Florida, and we got the opportunity to come back here.
Now, I understand that I think Dutch Mantell was sort of instrumental in helping you guys get started. How did you meet Dutch, or how did that come about?
Well, we met Dutch, we were wrestling fans. We've always been wrestling fans, and we went to the matches there in Louisville quite frequently, and got the opportunity to meet Dutch there and talk to him a little bit about we were interested in maybe becoming professional wrestlers, because we did wrestle in high school, and I wrestled in the military for a while, so we were very interested, and he seemed to take it from there.
Yeah, well, that's, I guess, real lucky in a sense, because that's one of the questions that I get asked most often. There are thousands of guys out there probably who would be interested in being wrestlers, but the hard thing to do is find a professional wrestler that really has the time to spend and work out. As you guys know, it takes an awful lot of time. Where did you guys get together with Dutch to work out?
So we come to Nashville to train at the auditorium there, the fairgrounds, and they seem to, really be accommodate us, and seem to have the ring open for us, and Dutch he treated us real good.
Yeah, well, that's great. I'm sure that Dutch is real pleased with your progress and everything. Have you noticed any difference? Of course, the competition here and the competition in Florida. What was it like down there? Who were some of the guys you wrestled in the Florida area?
The Florida area, the main competition they had there was people like Crusher Khrushchev, Jim Neidhart, the Saints. They had some stiff competition down there.
So Neidhart, the guy, Neidhart was here. He's in Florida now.
Yeah, he moved from here and went down in that area for a while. They had some stiff competition there, but when we came back here, we found that it's just as tough here as it is there.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid you're gonna find that out. Now, you guys are of course, as I said, you're young, nice-looking guys. I'm sure a lot of the girls are going to be interested in the fact they'll probably want to know if you guys are married or available. What's the situation there?
Well, we're both single. We both have sons. I've got a little boy that's 2.5 years old, and I could probably be available.
Okay, that goes for you too.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's fine. They'll always want to know those kinds of things. Another thing, have you guys given any thought? And let's face it, it helps. Of course, not only do you have to have wrestling ability these days, but it also helps if you have that extra little bit of charisma, or sometimes even maybe what some people might refer to as a gimmick or whatever, like, of course, Steve Kern and Stan Lane. They were good wrestlers as Steve Kern and Stan Lane, but they really didn't click and become really successful until they started calling themselves the Fabulous Ones and dressed with the top hats and that kind of thing. Have you guys thought of anything like that, or is it maybe a little early in your career to think of that?
We think maybe for the time being, we're just gonna go out there and wrestle to the best that we can, and try to gain some experience, especially in this area, and see how well we do there. Then if something comes up later on, then people will be the first to know about it.
Okay. Well, I think that's probably the best route to take anyway. I think sometimes that the fans, and especially the fans here in the Memphis area, can really relate to. We had a guy tell me this a couple of weeks ago. The fans here relate to the underdogs, and even though you guys are young and have a lot of athletic ability and great physical specimens, as you know, one of the most important things in professional wrestling is experience. And without that, you will probably be considered the underdogs for quite a while. And I think you'll be surprised to find that the fans here will be behind you guys 100%. And I just want to once again welcome you to the area. It's always great to have new talent come into the area, and we're looking forward to big things from you guys.
We're looking forward to it, too.
All right. Now, to show you that this is a wonderful experience, just for you guys being on the show here today, we have a gift certificate that's good for dinner for both of you guys over at Friday's, which is here at Overton Square. It's a great place for two available guys like yourselves to hang out. So we want you guys to have that. And
thank you.
Okay,
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being on. And we want to have you guys back again in the near future.
Okay. We'll be more than happy to.
All right. We'll be back with more of the show right after these words.
How'd you like to go into business for yourself? Of course, you'll have to work hard. Start early, every day. Go into debt for the equipment you'll need. And there'll be things you can't control. Government regulations, the weather, even your product's selling price. Did I mention that one bad year could wipe you out? I'm talking about a very risky business. Farming. But every year, over 2 million American farmers bet their family's financial future on their ability to produce and market a crop at a profit. Because they take the chance, the rest of us enjoy a reliable supply of food. American agriculture. It pays off for all of us because farmers are willing to take the risk. This message is brought to you by Dual Herbicide on behalf of the American corn and soybean grower.
If you're yearning for a new truck or van, Chuck Hutton is a great truck stop. The Mid-South's largest Chevy dealer gives you big sales volume prices with the widest choice of all the new Chevy trucks and vans. Right here at I-240 at Mount Moriah. Chevy's S10 Blazer, tough, comfortable, stylish, available in 2- or 4-wheel drive to satisfy any on- or off-road needs. Priced from $84.98.
Chuck Hutton Chevrolet is number one in bringing people and Chevy together.
Slimy's celebrating their after Thanksgiving sale with something new. TVs and VCRs from RCA. The selection is big, the prices are right, the service is great on famous RCA appliances from Slimming, like a cable-ready remote VCR for $4.79, a remote swivel-based console TV only $5.88, a 19-inch direct remote with time and channel display $4.29. Oh, I could go on forever, but need I say more? Why, you'd be a turkey to buy your appliances from anyone but Slimming, Memphis and Jackson.
Well, we're back on the show now. We want to welcome you back, and it's time now for our viewer mail segment. And our question this week is from Benny Evans, who lives out in Cordova, Tennessee. Well, Memphis, Tennessee now, I guess. And Benny's question is for me this week, and Benny wanted to know who is the toughest opponent that I ever had, or that I've ever wrestled against. And Benny, that is a very tough question, and we'll probably be talking about that a little bit later when we talk to Jim Barham about my book, because that's one of the chapters in the book. I'll have to say that probably overall, out of all the years, Jackie Fargo was I listed him as my number one toughest competitor. Out of all the matches, he gave me probably the biggest struggle. But some of the toughest guys that I've wrestled lately are two guys that we're going to be talking to, Benny, and we might as well do it right now, and then we'll come back and talk about the address and everything for the show. I'm talking about the Road Warriors, and of course with their manager Paul Ellering. And speaking of those guys, well, we've got an interview from them right now. Let's listen to the Road Warriors.
You know, when you think of champions, you think about people who have done the impossible. You think about Roger Bannister and the Mile. You think about Hillary and Mount Everest. But when it comes to wrestling, you think about the Legion of Doom and the Road Warriors, the team that stands alone on top of wrestling. And we stand down and look at you, Jerry Lawler, in your home in Memphis, Tennessee, sitting in your cozy, easy chair. Well, come on, Jerry Lawler, get out of the woodwork and challenge the Road Warriors, because we challenge you. Tomahawk.
I got one thing to say about Memphis and all the rotten, stinking people that live there. We're a lot different than you. You can bet on that. The difference is this. If we were standing on a track and a train was coming right at you, the train would run you normal people over. If we were on the track and the train was coming at us, it'd take a dirt road. Tell him, Animal. Hey, the Jerry Lawler Show. What did they mean to the Warriors? The world champion. Nothing. It could be the Warrior Hour. You people would love that, wouldn't you? You all clap for the Warriors. You know why? Because you wish you could be like us. You know, it's guys like Ollie Anderson, Jerry Lawler, Jimmy Valiant, that make me sick. If they want a title shot with the Warriors, they gotta prove to us that they deserve it.
Well, there they are, the Road Warriors. And you know, one of the things that's kind of disturbing about these two guys is whenever they come in the Memphis area, I actually see, a lot of the fans cheer for these guys. I mean, and, as I said, it's a little disturbing. You can understand here's a couple of guys who look like they're carved out of granite. They look like something right out of some kind of comic book hero or something like that. I can understand somebody being impressed by them, but I can't understand anybody admiring these two guys because they stand for everything that is absolutely wrong with professional wrestling today. But anyway, be that as it may, they are the World Tag Team Champions, and anytime we can get them back in this area and get a shot at them, especially Jimmy Valiant and myself, would like to have a shot at those guys. And we want to thank Benny Evans for writing into the viewer mail segment. Benny, just for having your question read, you're going to get one of these shirts. There we are right there from the show here. And if anybody out there has anything they'd like to know, any questions for any of the wrestlers or any artwork, anything like that, send it along to the Jerry Lawler Show, 1960 Union Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee. The zip code is 38104. And as you can see there, the old postcard is what you're going to get. Everybody's going to get one of those just for writing in, and we enjoy hearing from each and every one of you. So keep the cards and letters coming in. And right now what we're going to do, we're going to hear about what's going to take place at the Mid-South Coliseum. Some big action coming up. Not Monday night. Of course, Memphis State basketball is going to be in action Monday night. So wrestling is going to be at the Coliseum Tuesday night. And here's Lance to tell us about what to expect.
On a special night, Championship Wrestling brings a special card of 7 big bouts. This week, the Coliseum rocks on Tuesday night with a loser's nightmare match. Each loser will have something different at stake, from wearing a dress to leaving town when Savage and Popo meet Tommy and Eddie Gilbert. Rick Rude and King Kong Bundy continue their personal grudge. Handsome Jimmy takes on Iron Mike Sharp, and Jerry Lawler faces undefeated Russian Korchenko for the Southern Belt. All of this action and more Tuesday night at regular prices.
That's right. And looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you down there Tuesday night. Right now, what we're looking forward to seeing is the return of the NFL Football Follies. Here they are. Plays like that, it would be absolutely almost impossible to predict the outcomes of football games. But there's not a person that's doing it really well. There's a dolphin that's having remarkable success at picking the outcome of the football games. And we're going to check in on him, or her, I think it's her, right now.
Something fishy is happening at the Minnesota Zoo. Once a week at feeding time in the afternoon, Mindy the dolphin makes her football picks. The names of the competing teams are written on a piece of plastic, and the cards are thrown into the pool. As they sink to the bottom, Mindy comes over to investigate. She almost seems to read the names as she passes over one team, rejects it, and delicately noses the other to the surface. Mindy always picks the Dolphins, an excellent call this year. She also seems to like the teams with animal names like the Chicago Bears. One exception is the Minnesota Gophers, which she carefully avoids. Mindy's record speaks for itself. When it comes to the gridiron, she is deep in her element.
So far, she's about 2/3 right, and she's had a couple of weeks where she's been 4 out of 5, and the week before last, she was 100%. So she's doing quite well.
With that enviable record, the news of her sporting sense is getting out. The zoo's publicity department is getting calls from frustrated gamblers across the country. Curator Austin McDevitt follows the game, and when Mindy talks, he listens.
Dolphins are one of the larger-brained mammals, and comparatively, they are on a level with us in some respects. So, they're certainly right up there with the best of the bookies.
Clearly, this is not a fishtail. Mindy is a dolphin with a porpoise. She keeps her head above water and seldom gets hooked on the latest line. Her fame is growing by leaps and bounds because she rarely takes a dive. For NBC News, Adlai Stevenson at the Minnesota Zoo.
Wow, enough cliches there. Okay, that's pretty remarkable, I would say. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to be back with more of the show right after these words.
Can you guess which truck is priced lower than the top 5 compact pickups in America? Okay, so you needed a hint. Well, now you can get that low-priced Isuzu for even less. Because your Isuzu dealers are having a sale on all the 1985 trucks. And when Isuzus go on sale with factory incentives, you better be ready to move fast.
See your Memphis Isuzu dealer.
I'm not going to go buy the food spray anymore.
Andrea Giles tells when she first tried 12-hour Nostrella, the metered one-way nasal spray.
After I had seen the presentation.
The TV presentation?
Yes.
You saw that squeeze sprays can draw back common cold viruses.
Mm-hmm.
So one-way metered pump?
It didn't.
That's a good reason for trying it. But did 12-hour Nostrella work for you?
The 12-hour Nostrella cleared my sinuses, and I could breathe again.
12-hour Nostrella, Nostro, regular and mild. The metered one-way nasal spray.
It works for me.
Silver Creek, moist winter green tobacco.
Cut a little rougher. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. That phrase was first heard by Americans in 1918 from a little old company named Sears Roebuck. Today at Coleman Taylor Transmission, we still think it's a pretty good idea. So we feel it's an honor to be the first in the transmission industry to add to our warranty a money-back guarantee for the first 30 days on any service we perform. At Coleman Taylor, common sense customer relations is a way of life.
We're back on the show now, and I want to welcome my very special guest, longtime friend, Jim Barham, to the show. Now, Jim, you were on the show once before, weren't you?
Right. I was with the football clinic at the Airport Hilton Hotel, so it's good to be back here.
Well, it's good to have you back, and especially with this, I'm excited about this. This is a book. You've written a book.
Yeah, Jerry, I've written a couple of things as far as football goes when I was a high school football coach. Never anything like this undertaking. I guess about a year and a half ago, I had the honor of pinning you down and getting you to talk a little bit about your career as a wrestler. I saw your very first match. I saw you in the early years.
You sure did.
And, it got kind of exciting. And I remember on the way to Blue Mountain, Mississippi one night, I got you to commit to sharing with me some of your pictures and the time it took to put this book together.
Well, now, actually, before the book even came about, now you have a journalistic background because up in... you were in Savannah, Tennessee, right? And you worked with the Savannah newspaper there?
Yeah, Savannah Courier. I did a little news writing there, sports-wise.
And the first thing that we kind of collaborated on, you did, sort of like the whole history for the newspaper there.
Right. Did the history of Jerry Lawler. That was called, it was a 5-part series, and it went for 5 weeks in the local Savannah Courier there.
And the paper went out of business, right?
No. The article went over real big. And so this was kind of a takeoff from there, and I guess I've been talking to you about this, for a year and a half and trying to get some time with you, and you've got a busy schedule. And I have another job that I work at 99% of the time. And it was just important for us to spend some time together. And finally, after about a year and a half, we've got the book off the press.
Well, as I said, I'm excited about it because you've pinned down just about everything that you ever wanted to know but didn't care to ask about me is in this book. As you said, Jim, now, we've known each other for, gosh, how many years?
About 17 or 18.
17 or 18 years, and well, went to the same high school, and we played on various ball teams together and things like that. And then, of course, you were a friend long before the wrestling days, and you were at the very first match. Can you remember where that was?
Yeah, it was at the old Avon Theater in West Memphis, and I remember there were several football players that played on the same team we did, and we went to that match, and they had a wash tub over the ring with a light hanging through it.
You had to tell that. I was so proud that night because Jim and a lot of my friends from the ball team came over to see me wrestle. First time I'd ever wrestled, and as he said, the arena was an old revamped movie theater, and with the ring sitting down at the end in front of the screen, and above the ring for a ring light was well, like you said, a big, like a, I don't know how many gallon big wash tub with several light bulbs inside it, but it got by, and that was some neat times, and of course all of that kind of stuff is in the book. What else you got in here?
Well, Jerry, we take it a little further. We had an opportunity to spend some time with your mother, and your mother even gave us some pictures of you when you were a baby. So we start from the birth of the king all the way to your present time now. There's some very interesting parts in the book. I think the part of you as a child, I think is really good. I never knew you could look real good as a cowboy, but you look real good in your cowboy suit.
I see you have the Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, we do a good job, I think, with that. I think some of the original pictures from the match, we have a section there called The Night That NBC Was Rocked, the night that you and Kaufman on David Letterman's show. The section about the feuds, where you talked about the top 10 people that you've wrestled as far as toughest matches, and it's a great section in there. And then the side that I really like is the Sam Bass era. Yeah. I tell you, Sam Bass had a tremendous impact on your career, and I don't think I really understood that until the last 2 years when we've been talking about putting the book together.
Now, you did some research that even I didn't know about, because there's some things in here that I've even forgotten about. You got the time and the photograph from the time that I dressed up as a woman,
right,
and sat in the audience to kind of try to get the upper hand on Jerry Jarrett and Jackie Fargo one time.
That's right.
Sam Bass came up with this elaborate scheme that if I would, what I did at the time, I shaved off the beard and all of this stuff and dressed in the woman's clothes and sat in the audience and attacked those guys, and all of that stuff is in the book.
Right, and Jerry, this started out as an illustrated story. There's over about 250 black and whites. There's 16 color pictures.
Everybody, Jim, I hate to kind of cut this short, but everybody's going like this and saying wrap it up. That's about all the time we're going to have. I want to tell the people that if they want to get one, if they got a pencil, they can get one of these books by sending to Post Office Box 240-304, Memphis, Tennessee, and the zip code is 38124. Does it cost money?
Cost money.
Okay,
cost money.
It's $10, right?
$10.
And $1 for postage.
Okay,
right. Well, anyway, if anybody would like to have one of these, we'll be giving them that address again at a later date, okay? Listen, we got to go. Jim, thanks for being on. Thank you for being here, and stay tuned for the NFL football game today at San Diego at Pittsburgh. No Cleveland, even though they won last week with me there, and we'll see you people next week.